Hi, we're the hashtag TVD Fangirls. My name is Britt,
I'm Spence.
and today we will be talking about 420, which is the originals.
Woohoo! So we start out with Elena lying on the floor, desiccating basically. And then we shoot over to New Orleans where we see Haley with Sophie and Jane Ann, and they give her a map to find a pack that would know something about her lineage or something of that nature. And Haley drives over there in her Mustang, which is obviously, I don't know how she can afford the Mustang, but she drives a Mustang. And she gets out of the car and hears noises and things, and then when Jane Ann finishes the spell, she passes out. And then back in Mystic Falls, Rebecca and Elijah talking about how important family is, and the fact that Klaus went to New Orleans and Rebecca is being all snooty and saying we're just a bunch of people who happen to share blood. We're not really family, and I don't like you, and all you do is screw me over, so forget you two. Then we're in New Orleans and we see Klaus wandering through the crowd looking for we don't know what, but then he makes eye contact with this witch, who he realizes is a real witch, and they start talking about how she can't do magic and she can't tell him anything, but she just happens to know where this dude, the king of all New Orleans, Marcel, may be. And so then we meet Marcel, who's dancing around and singing.
And looking all fine.
Right? How you like me now? Oh, I like you now. Then he takes a shot and turns around and there's Klaus. And it's kind of like the most popular girls in school. Like, who the fuck are you? No, who the fuck are you? And they're just like, oh my god, you're my best friend. Ha, just kidding, I love you. So they sit down and they start talking about Jane Ann, and Klaus is like, where's she at? I gotta talk to her about, some business that's none of yours. So they go out to the street, and we see everybody crowds around Jane Ann, and Marcel is like, you did some magic? I don't think so. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I didn't do anything. And he says, okay, well, guess again. And he slits her throat with a tree branch or something. And Klaus is like, the fuck, bro? Like, I told you I needed to talk to her. Marcel's like, my bad. Sorry. So then we cut to later when Klaus goes to talk to Sophie, Jane Ann's sister, and she's like, no, I'm not talking to you because those two guys over there are Marcel's, and I can't talk to you while Marcel is listening, basically. And Klaus is like, yeah, you two need to bounce before I rip your heads off, and tell Marcel that he can fuck off.
Next, we see Klaus go to the club to confront Marcel about him being followed, and Marcel is simply like, I didn't do anything, and Klaus is like, I don't like you. We see Sophie run out of the building, and we see the two guys follow her, and all of a sudden there's a heart on the ground, and all of a sudden there's a body being thrown up and, staked brutally. And then we just see Elijah in his dapper little suit saying, I'm Elijah. I'm sure you've heard of me. And she just like... And then we see Klaus and Marcel are on top of the terrace, and they're kind of just like talking about the old age, and Marcel's like, listen dude, you may be original, but this is my town, and you can live here and like be here, but you're not gonna take over because, I rule. You don't. Boom. And he like leaves, and then Elijah comes in, and him and Klaus are talking about New Orleans, and Elijah's like, yeah, this would be cool, but I need you to come with me. So he takes him to Sophie, and Klaus says, what the fuck is going on? I really don't want to be here. This is a setup. And then here comes Haley, and he's just like, why is she here? Like, I'm pretty sure we fucked, and then she left, and that was it. Why is she here? Why is she looking at me right now? And Sophie's like, well, I know when something's wrong with nature, and I have a special power. My power is I can sense pregnancies. And everybody's like, the fuck? And Klaus is just like, alright, that's nice. And then she's like, Klaus, it's your baby. And he's like, the fuck it is. And Elijah's looking over there like, dude, I'm an uncle. And Klaus is like, I'm just gonna kill her, and then there isn't gonna be a Haley or a baby. Fuck this shit. And Elijah's like, dude, you really should listen to the heartbeat. So it grumbles a little bit, and he's just like, oh my god, and then he runs away. Then Elijah and Klaus, go to the cemetery, and they're talking, and Elijah's like, but we could actually be a family now, like, this is what we want, always and forever, we promised each other. And Klaus is like, well, I guess I can have an heir. I mean, more power. And then Klaus is like, you know what, fuck it, I want to be king too. And Elijah's like, okay. And Camille and Klaus talk about art and being lonely and some random shit that nobody really cared about, because the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, does she really have ponies on her dress? She had ponies on her dress. And then Klaus goes to Marcel, and he's just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna fuck you over now. I'm gonna show you who's boss. So he bites the dude with the weird looking hat on, and he's like, peace, you're gonna die soon. Good luck. Then he decides that, actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna save your friend, so you can show who's really boss, because I'm immortal. I can do whatever the fuck I want, because I'm better than all of you. And Marcel's just like, dude, we're friends, always and forever. Back in Mystic Falls, Rebecca's talking to Elijah, who somehow popped all the way over from New Orleans to Virginia in like 2 hours. And they're talking, and he's like, yo, you need to come to New Orleans. Some shit's about to pop off, and you need to be there, because we're family. And she's like, well, you guys can go fuck yourself, because you guys are literally the worst brothers ever. And Elijah's like, okay. And then there's Catherine, and she goes over to Elijah, and she's like, you don't know Klaus anything, we can be together, we can live together, and be in love. And he like looks at her, and she's like, yes, and then he's like, goodbye. And then I cried for like 24 hours. Then it goes to Klaus, and he's making a phone call. And then he's making a phone call to Caroline, telling her how much that he wanted to show her everything, and how one day he hopes he can. And it was a beautiful moment. Then we cut to Elena, who is slowly desiccating, and Damon comes in with some blood, and he's like, here you go, sweetie. And she's like, oh, thanks. And then she's like, you forbade me, you fucker? And he's just like, torture, you gotta get your humanity back some way. And then she's like, no, I don't play these games. Like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then Stefan comes in, and he's like, let the games begin. And then we cut. Obviously, this was a backdoor pilot. This was kind of like what is the originals gonna be about when fall comes. Which I was really excited for, because I love Klaus, I love Elijah. I'm really happy for the actors. And then I watched the episode, and I was just like, everything crashed and burned around me. And
right.
It's one of those hard to say, because like I don't think I would have felt nearly as strong about the episode if there hadn't been a baby involved. I think it just made it ridiculous. So I think the episode would have been completely solid. The acting was amazing. And I like Phoebe Tonkin a lot, but they forced the character, they shoved it so far down our throats that when you see her, you gag because it's all you. And it's unfortunate because, like, she could have been interesting. She could have. So, I mean, but the dude who played Marcel was amazing, and him and Joseph Morgan had such chemistry that it was great to see. And he can keep up with Klaus. He can keep up with that. I go from happy to I'm fucking crazy in like 2.5 seconds, which will be amazing to see in the fall.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. The thing with Haley, I mean, I get the need to have some sort of connection between everybody, but a baby, like a hybrid baby in not even like, it's the backdoor pilot. Like, it's not even separate yet. It didn't get picked up yet. This is like what you this is what we have to look forward to. So it was kind of weird for me. And I mean, you saw like Tumblr exploded. Everyone was like, the fuck just happened? And Klaus was just like, you really think I care? And then Haley did that little like, oh, and I was like, you really think he cared about you? Yeah, I thought that his interaction with Camille was weird. I thought that they could have done something different or more interesting with the introduction to her character, but it was just kind of like, hey, here I am, let's talk about art, because everybody knows you like art, and yeah, I don't know. But then the Kalijah, they like really got our hopes up for Kalijah. He was like about to kiss her, and like they were gonna be together, and I get why, you know, for like Nina's purposes and all that they can't be together, but it was still really heartbreaking. It was just an all over emotional episode.
I did not like the scene between Elijah and Catherine. I felt that it was wrong. Like, I didn't feel like his character would do that. Like, his character is very moral, understand like his obligations to his family, but like I just felt like, you know, if you really loved a person, you wouldn't just like just say goodbye to them, like just leave them like that, especially when, you know, she potentially risked her life to come to Mystic Falls.
To be there, yeah.
To be with you. I was glad to see that little brutal scene we had, like, you know, in the beginning, middle, you know, with him, and I was glad to see that because that was the Elijah that everybody missed. But, you know, he's also a very classy man. I don't think he would just, like, diss his woman like that. Like, I had a huge problem with that. I like Sophie too, and I'm really hoping that they don't introduce her as a love interest, because I think you need like one badass bitch to just be the badass bitch, to not be anyone's love interest, to just be that girl that, you know, everybody wants. And like, I actually liked her. I really did. And I was like, you know what? She would be someone I would really like if I watched the original.
Yeah.
That wasn't a problem for me. So I was like, okay, this is kind of cool.
I mean, I agree with you about Elijah, but I think that the way that they left it wasn't necessarily, it was kind of like a just in case things don't go our way, this can still be reconciled. As far as like Elena and all that stuff goes, I know a lot of people didn't care that much, but I think as far as, you know, like this next episode is gonna go with Elena and this whole torture thing, I don't know if, I just know that for fans of Elena and Damon and Stefan, it's going to be relatively painful, because to see Elena being tortured and even just the subject of being tortured, it's just going to be all over painful. But I think, you know, she is out of the cellar by 422, so I'm really interested to see how they quote unquote fix her, to see, you know, where she ends up, if she's still going to be, because I'm kind of tired of the whole I don't give a fuck, you know, fuck you all type attitude. I hopefully they'll go in a different direction, because I'm kind of tired of it all.
I think we have maybe 3 episodes left after this.
Hmm.
So, we're getting down to the final wire, and I'm really excited. I'm excited about the next episode. I mean, after this episode, I'm excited to see what they're going to do next. I do eventually want Elena to get her humanity back on, like, sooner rather than later, because I think she's just so rude, and I can't stand rude people. So I'm really eager to have that turned back on. I'm not excited for the torture scene, because I understand that fear could possibly bring it out of her, but still, you're torturing someone. We have 2 more episodes after that, and then we are done for season 4, which is crazy. And we'll get to see the originals as an actual TV show, because as of today, it got picked up. Thank you for watching. We are the #TVD Fangirls, Britt and Spence. Hopefully you are already on our blog watching this. But if you aren't, our Tumblr is the #fangirls.tumblr.com. You can also find us on Twitter at TVD Fangirls, and you can also find us on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel. It means a lot. And thank you for watching. And next week it will be Jordan and Kat. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for watching.
Bye.